3, 2, 1. Hey everyone, it's Brian again. I first want to say is I always have problems with this first part. Follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. I have notes here this time. Woohoo! Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at TNCMyLife. You have to excuse me as I get used to this because I'm used to doing it from my phone. The camera is over here, and then sometimes I look at the screen, and the screen is right here, so I look at, and follow me on Instagram and Twitter at TNCMyLife. And then if you're interested in joining a support group on how to make more money, a surge pricing group here in LA, text join to 424-260-6414. Once again, 424-260-6414. And yeah, I'm starting. I just kind of set messages out, and I use it a lot during this my recent suspension, just as a support group, and because a lot of us got suspended, and really just a pricing group. How to have a minimum what you should drive for, make more money, be happier. Except when this stupid shit happens, and you're like, fuck. And also, so that term skipping, I know a lot of drivers use it. I enjoy it. However, some other drivers have come up with a better acronym called ACRO. ACRO. Accept, cancel, reason, other. ACRO. So I'm going to try to start using that. I think it's better than skipping. Not to knock the SF drivers that come up with the skipping. Skipping's cool. I like it, but ACRO, no passenger ever wants to hear that they were skipped on. I was kind of hesitant about using it, just because of that. It's not a good marketing tool, marketing term. So we're going to try with ACRO, and try to train myself to use that ACRO. So my suspension. This video was originally going to be about the emails and the text warnings that San Francisco drivers got, and I think they got suspended too. Really, this video was to kind of point out that this is the kind of company Uber is, or immature company Uber is. Nothing wrong with immaturity, but don't act like you're mature. Big ballers on the block when you act like little bullies. I've worked in government positions, and I've worked in retail, and I've worked in private contract positions as a draftsman, and with engineering firms, big national corporations, and I've worked in construction, did all kinds of stuff. And every time, I shouldn't say every time, like I do it all the time, but I fucked up. We've all fucked up on jobs. When we first had our jobs out of high school, whatever, we always goof around. We fuck up, big deal. But the management there, their job is to reprimand us. And if we fuck up a lot, we get written up. And if we get written up, the write-up is the same, and the warning is the same for everyone. It's not separate the way the San Francisco drivers were handled, and it's not separate the way we drivers were handled down here. It's very important that you as a driver, you as a business owner, see this, that what Uber is doing is not typical of corporations or companies or government agencies when it comes to reprimanding, because that's what you did. That's what happened. You got reprimanded. You got warned. And it's very inconsistent. Some people got text. Some people got the text and the email. Some people got the email. Me, I didn't receive jack shit. So it's very inconsistent, and it's not a good sign. They should have some kind of guidelines or something. Best practices is what we call them. Yeah, they really need to get their shit together. And you, as a driver, you should see these little telltale signs of like, what is going on? Why is everybody receiving something different? When we're all kind of, we're all kind of doing it for the same reason. At least the reason, the text wording itself is the same for everyone, but everybody's receiving different kind of notifications. This is not good. So that was what the video was supposed to be. That's what this video was supposed to be about. But then your friendly neighborhood acro skipper, Brian, got suspended myself. And yeah, so now I can experience all this fun stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read my emails, my correspondence with Uber, and what I said to them, and what they didn't say back, and what they did say back, and how they just kind of ignored me. After I asked them, like, you know, they want to treat us like business partners, and they kind of ignore us once we start pushing them back. That's not very good from a huge company. And you know, that kind of has a telltale sign of just the way they are. So we have to deal with their bullshit. Once again, just a warning, this video is going to be long again. So you guys that complain, oh, he's rambling on forever, well, go watch something else. You can watch one of my videos. I only do one of these every once in a while, and what are they, maybe like, I try to cut them down to like 20 minutes. Or you can go watch somebody else who posts videos every week about their lives, and those videos are 10 minutes. So you can watch 50 minutes, those sucked out of your life. You can watch one of mine that I do every once in a while, and it's only like 20 minutes. So go, yeah, I ramble, big deal. It's important stuff. Because nobody else is talking about this except me. And, yeah. So I'm going to read my emails. So my emails are over there on the TV. You have to excuse me while I read them and not look at the camera. I'll look at them over here. So here we go. Well, the turtle throws rocks in the background. Oh no, that's a fish. So here we go. So here on Thursday I got suspended, and like a bunch of other drivers, I was like, what the fuck? I didn't get any. What happened? Like, somebody just sent me, I think, a tweet or something, or a text that said, hey, can you go online? I'm like, no. And like, oh, neither can a whole bunch of us. Like, I started going on, you know, Facebook or Uber people, but then I have my surge pricing group. People started sending me texts, and see where people started tweeting, sending me messages. And yeah, that's the only way I found out that I was suspended, like at 5. So here's the Bush thing. I shouldn't say Bush, but yeah, you know, it is kind of pussy what Uber did. Cowardly that they did. They suspended us on Thursday, and then the next day, Friday, they closed the office. Because they didn't want us going down there starting shit. So they closed the office. Oh, how convenient. How convenient. So it's an immature company. You just got to watch for the signs. This is all it is. And maybe bad-mouthing them is what's going to really get me deactivated. Who knows? So I'm going to read my emails. So my first email to them. Hello. Why can I not go online? Brian Navarro. Simple. So we got a response, and the response is, thanks for writing in. I understand that you are concerned with the current status of your account. I checked your account and saw that your account is currently not active due to high cancellation rate. You are informed twice with regards on this issue. When calculating your acceptance rate, we only consider the number of requests that you did not accept. To keep your acceptance rate high, please be sure to accept every trip request that comes your way. If you're not ready to accept trip requests, make sure you go offline. And they have the offline in quotes, like, it's not like kind of offline, you just go offline. It says on the screen, go offline. Why does it in quotes? You may also want to check to see that your volume is on and blah, 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 blah. I'm not even going to read that stuff. So, first off, it says that I was informed twice. I personally was never informed. Via email, via text, nothing. I know other drivers that were never informed. Uber just shut them down. Didn't warn them for nothing. So that's a complete lie. And then once again, when calculating your acceptance rate, we're talking about cancellation, not acceptance, Uber. Stop double talking us. That's just them being cowards, trying to hide behind something. So my response, hello. I was never informed of my cancellation rate. Do you have a record of you informing me? I never understand why you guys talk about cancellation Then change the subject to mention acceptance rate as a factor. I have a record of 90% acceptance rate. When I'm online, I'm always ready to accept. I just choose not to give rides I believe are unprofitable. Plus, I've already corresponded with an LA rep that said it's okay for me to cancel. Are you now telling me how to operate my business? Brian Navarro. So yeah, I never received warning at all. Sorry as I lean in, I'm trying to scroll with this mouse. Alright, so here it is. This next one. Thanks for writing in. No worries, your account is now active. So they responded after the 24 hours. We do not encourage partners to cancel trip. I know they don't encourage it. I know that. I know they're not going to tell you. They're not going to tell you. Uber, when you first downloaded the software, they didn't even tell you probably what surge was. They didn't even. I see constantly, what are these orange things? What are these yellow? What does this mean? Yeah, some of these drivers, they don't take the time to read it. But then also, I don't even know if they tell you when the order comes up where on the indicator to look where it says what the multiple is. I don't even think they tell you that, because I always see people with complaining that, oh yeah, I'm in a surge zone, but I'm getting non-surge requests. Well, it's because it's lagging, but you don't have to take them if you don't want to. So a rider canceling a trip will never count against your acceptance rate. Here we go. This is my freaking bullshit again. When calculating your acceptance rate, again with the calculating your acceptance rate, this is where they're going to get themselves in trouble, because I have email over email where my acceptance rate is over 90%. So I don't know what they're talking about. We only consider a number of requests that you did not accept. Actually, and by the way, if there's a lawyer out there that would like to contact me, please do. To keep your acceptance rate high, please be sure to accept every trip. Actually, you know what? Lawyers can't contact me because that would be not right. However, I would be willing to contact a lawyer if somebody put me in contact with somebody. And I'm kind of thinking about seeking that. We'll talk about that later. To keep your acceptance rate high, please be sure to accept every request. Here you go with the acceptance rate again. Blah, 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 blah. Acceptance rate, acceptance rate. I accept every request. Like they say, I accept all of them. About 90% of them. Because sometimes I'm driving and I can't accept. So there's some instances when I can accept. And actually, you know, I've noticed too, like sometimes, you know, when you hit the go offline button and that little stay online because the surgeon thing comes on, sometimes that'll come up and then I'll receive a request when that's on there and I could still hit go offline. Does anybody know if that counts? They never told us. And then they say in this email, you know, make sure to go offline. They put a link to a video on how to cancel rides. Those are the polite way to cancel rides, which is fine. Which, I mean, this is fine. Things come up, exactly like their video says. They understand that something can come up. Yeah, you know what came up? My bank account is going down, so that's what kind of needs to come up. Yeah, I'm not going to give rides to cheap people, and it is cheap people. It's not, the majority of it isn't cheap people because they don't know, but there are people, when the surge disappears, your phone just gets flooded with calls, with requests. They're just waiting for it to go away, and they know it. It's pretty, I don't know, it's common. They know to wait. That's it. But you, as a driver, should wait also. So I don't know, we'll skip that one. We're going to skip, I don't know. I'm just going to give you the core messages of these emails. I'll put them in a folder. You guys can read them if you want. So here we go. Honestly, these cut and paste, this is my response to this last one. Honestly, these cut and paste responses are not helpful for partners. They only frustrate us more, which is what they do. That's their job. They used to frustrate the fuck out of us. It's like, it's just cut and paste. That's all it is. Hopefully management will be at the office on Monday so me and other drivers can put this whole suspension for cancellation issues to rest. I'm still waiting for techniques on how drivers can only give profitable surge rides. If you have instructions, please forward. So yeah, so like I said, they suspended us on Thursday, and then they closed the office on Friday, and they probably thought that was going to shut us up, and then they put us back to work, and we'll be all happy. No, I'm not gonna drive for Uber if I have this stupid suspension thing. Actually, the way I feel now, I just freaking hate Uber now. They're just fucking with drivers. I'm not happy out there anymore. Like, I don't look forward to going out there anymore and trying to earn a living. It's this because they can just do this shit and just for no reason, really. If they had a good reason, which is what they kind of say, well, you know, we kind of cancel. Well, then tell me how, for us to remain in compliance, tell me how many times I can cancel and for what reasons. Be specific. But they don't tell us. So I'm not even, this past couple of days, I really just haven't been felt like just driving, period. This company is just, it's just horrible. If any of you guys that are thinking about going out there and driving, don't. I mean, just don't do it, because they're going to take advantage of you. That's it. They want you to burn up your car for cheap, and I'll have proof of that later. What was I saying? Oh, so on Monday we went down there and we tried to get answers. I mean, we'll go into that later. But yeah, that's what they do. They kind of just cowardly company, and this stuff's it's starting to bite them in the ass with regulations, and you know, cities and states are not putting up with this. Countries are not putting up with them. So yeah, you know, they should actually change their act. If they want drivers on their side, they should change their act, because this is not helping drivers. All the drivers that I know that got suspended are very highly rated drivers. We are the best product out there. We're actually pretty happy that we can earn a living, but now you're doing this. And they scared a lot of drivers, and that was their whole point. And before you bash me on the stupid comments about, well, you know, you should be canceling, yeah, I'll have proof of why you should be canceling. Yeah, you guys that are thinking about, oh yeah, it's all about the passengers, you're just fools. You don't know what Uber is. Think Uber is here to save the world's ride sharing? Yeah, whatever. They're moving away from that big time. They're not ride sharing. The ride sharing is marketing bullshit that you guys are falling for. It makes you feel happy, like you sharing the candy with, like if you're little Tyler sharing with your friends. By the way, that whole sharing nonsense is BS. That's such bullshit. Who shares something and then asks for something in return, which is what we are doing? If Uber actually wants to be ride sharing, then just take the price out of the app completely. Just make it all free rides. And let people who want to give free rides, let them get free rides. That's fine. I am not going to do it. I am here to earn a living. Thanks for your patience. So this is a response for them. Thanks for your patience. There's no specific technique on how a driver can only give profitable surge rides. Surge is constantly shifting differently throughout the city and changes in real time. Depending on demand in particular areas, because of that, the amount can change, and minute by minute, and will be based on a time of a trip request. So this is kind of like their bullshit surge stuff. So here's my response. My response is kind of long, so there we go. Accepting and canceling cheap ride requests is a technique, and is one of many drivers use to only give profitable surge rides. Surge is not purely a demand-based system. Drivers' willingness to give rides at a price is a factor. That's why it's called surge pricing. It's also a supply-based system. It's there to get my car moving at a profit. If there is no color on the map, what is the best way to not accept non-surge requests? Since surge can change minute by minute, like you say, me going offline takes opportunity to earn money away from me. Actually, you know, I noticed that it's been changing about every 4 minutes now. It's no longer, it used to be every 2 minutes, and now it's slowed down. I think us skipping has really affected it, and it really screws them up because it's going so fast. And you can go online, and I think the CTO recently said that they're growing so fast they can't keep up. So it happens so fast, and it's probably overwhelming for them. So if the map is orange or yellow, what is the best way to not accept cheap ride requests? Since I am anticipating that surge pricing will mostly appear soon. I kind of misspelled that. I should say most likely appear soon. What if I'm in a surge zone and receive non-surge requests? This frequently happens. If I'm not going to go offline if I'm in a surge zone and remove myself from the opportunity to make money. And this going offline business is kind of contradictory to what they are saying. They are saying go offline, that they're kind of telling drivers more and more to go offline. But then when you try to go offline, that prompt comes up on the screen and says, hey, don't go offline. It's surging, it's busy, don't go offline. So what do they want? this, like, talking out of their mouth and talking out of their ass is like it's what? Which one is it? So, and then, blah, 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 what did I say? And then I replied, what if I'm a surgeon? Oh, no. These are the 3 top reasons why I accept and cancel non-surge requests. Providing me with clarity on how Uber would like me to handle these instances would be very helpful, since there is no in-app function to politely say no to a non-surge ride request. I've already asked if I can cancel requests based purely on price and received a yes response. However, I was still suspended for doing something Uber said I can do. Brian. So my last sentence of that paragraph, since there is no in-app function, you know what? There was an in-app function. I've been doing a little bit of research online, and there was a decline option. They took it away. Why? Why did they take it away? You should ask yourself that. There was a decline option. And so here we go. So here's my, so this one I got from this girl Karen. This was the last response I received from them. So this is Karen stepping in for Mel. I think this whole thread got just 4 different people that responded to me. I don't know if it got elevated. They're just kind of passing it around. I don't know. But I'm assuming since this is the last one, maybe she's supervisor. Who knows? This is Karen stepping in for Mel. I'm happy to answer your questions. I understand that knowing about surge is important to get the most out of your time driving. We do our best to make you aware of when and where surge is likely to be happening, but we can never predict it 100%. If a trip is canceled by either a rider or a partner, the surge amount may have gone up or down for the next trip request. If the surge was applied, that area wasn't surging at the time of the request. She goes into this whole thing about surge and whatever. So next paragraph, in regards to cancellations, we do not encourage our partners to cancel trips based on a low fare. I know you don't encourage it, but it is my right to do it. You said I can do it. Acceptance rate, and then here we go. Acceptance rates are one of the many factors we take into account when looking at driver quality. Again, with the fucking acceptance rate. Canceling multiple trip requests affects not only our riders looking for those trips, but our partners who are looking to accept trips and get out on the road. Yes, I know it affects the passengers. It's a horrible, shitty experience. But hey, guess what? Our ACRO, they recently updated the rider app so the riders it doesn't affect the riders too much. Because when the rider would accept it, or when we would skip, it would tell the rider that your ride got canceled. Now it just says that your next Uber is on the way. It's just, that's all it's saying is your Uber's on the way, your Uber's on the way, your Uber's on the way. So yeah, our ACROs have influenced Uber, and that's why you should keep doing it, so we can hopefully get a proper decline function. Because they don't want to piss off the customer, and the customer actually, I believe this 100%, the customer shouldn't even be involved in the whole transaction process. Uber, like they say, are lead generators. They just generate the lead. What we decide to do with the information, that's our business. What the rider wants to pay, that's their business. Uber is just the middleman. So then it says, to make the platform a smoother experience, I encourage you to always take every trip offered to you. See how they use that word encourage? They're encouraging you. They're not telling you to do it. They're kind of encouraging you. That's another one of those gray words that's not going to get them into trouble with the whole employer-employee relationship. And actually them suspending us is an employee-employer relationship. Them giving us training for assist, that is an employer-employee relationship. So I guess step offline if you aren't ready to take trips. That's the thing, I am ready to take trips. But I just don't want to give cheap ones, so that's why I remain online. So that was the last one she responded to. And then I responded back with, let's see if we can get this one to come in. Here we go. I didn't get the other one. Alright, so here's my last response. Actually, this is my second to last response. So here we go. So I agree, surge is not 100% predictable. However, me and lots of other drivers are experienced enough to know when our opportunities are best for surge. We're observant and understand how the surge prices apply to the order. I know Uber doesn't encourage cancellations, but isn't the driver free to cancel any request without penalty per the partner agreement? If you need, I can forward my weeklies, which show my acceptance rate is always 90% range. Is this not acceptable? Why does Uber LA always revert back to my acceptance rating when I'm specific about cancellation rates? These are two very different items to me. I agree 100% that cancellations are a shitty rider experience. Riders complain to me often of cancellations. So why is there no option for drivers to simply push the request if the driver doesn't want to complete? This would make the rider experience much smoother. A driver could have many reasons for not feeling comfortable to complete a request. Distance to travel and user rating are just a few. When I'm online, I'm ready to take trips. It's the other factors mentioned in this email that prevent me from completing most trips. I drive Uber to earn a living. I think it's a great opportunity, not for sport. Please tell me how someone can make life-changing money when rates have been cut by 70% without including surge into their driving strategy. Brian. The thing I just noticed is when I was uploading this email, that my last comment here was not it's not formatted the same as my other one. So I think what they do is they just close my last one, they just closed it. They just forget it. They said, okay, we're done with this. We're going to shut it down. No more emails from him, period. This is my last thing. So once I responded back, it was not formatted into their system. And they haven't responded back to that one. And I sent them I can't get it right now because I actually had it on my phone. I don't have the email right here. But I sent them another reply. I said, hey man, it's been 3 days. Can you please respond to my questions? And then within that 3 days, I actually pulled up their responses to the state of California here, where they actually say, here, let me pull this up really quick. And they submitted some questions to the state, or they submitted responses to some questions that the state had. And in one of their questions, question 6, it says so this is a state, any persons who submit ride requests through the Uber app able to request or choose a particular TCP holder and or TCP holder driver. And the holder drivers and holders are us. Those are us drivers. So if you read the response, the very last sentence of the response says, ride requests, this is Uber telling the state, ride requests submitted by riders are transmitted to the nearest available TCP holder driver, who then has the option to accept or decline each request. So I emailed them back with this little piece of information. I said, you told the state that drivers can accept or decline a request. How do we do that? How do we decline? There is no decline option in the app. So Uber is lying to somebody, and they're taking action against us for something that they told the state that we can do. So this is not very wise of them. It's horrible. And let's see. So I have my little list here. So I have some warnings. Let me go back. I forgot how to go back. So after I emailed them. So then, on Monday, the following Monday, a bunch of us drivers got together and we went to the Uber office to get some answers. And guess what? We got no answers. Surprise there! We actually spoke to some dude. His name was Brad. And I think maybe he is just trained to not answer anybody's questions. But yeah. So we went there on Monday. We didn't get any answers really about how to remain in compliance with the cancellations. They just told us, that guy in real life just told us, the emails about accepting. That's pretty much what he said. Just make sure you accept. And then, this is the most interesting part. This the most concerning, the most interesting, and the most cowardly of everything, I think. Every time I've seen people post their experiences, and if they have a real issue about, and they go to the local office here in LA, and I shouldn't say every time, but a majority of the time, they'll say, oh yeah, they spoke with the manager, and the manager helped them. Guess what? I went there, and I asked for a supervisor or a manager, and that rep that was on the counter, he told me there was not one there. He said, no, that there's not a supervisor or a rep there. And I was like, what? And I asked him, I said, okay, so you guys just come into the office and then that's it? There's nobody here to oversee you? And he was like, no, there's nobody here to oversee me. That's straight bullshit. Some of us drivers saw somebody walking around there, the dude with the suit and the shirt, that looked highly dressed from everybody, and he was walking around watching us as our group was making kind of a little scene. And we suspect that he was the manager, the supervisor there, but however, we were not able to talk to him. He wanted to hide from everybody. He wanted to hide from us all. They were scared. So yeah, that's very concerning. For them just to blatantly just lie to drivers, well, I mean, it's not concerning. That's just the way they are. It's horrible. They just lie to everybody. But really, to say that there is no supervisor there to help, those guys just, all those CSRs rep, they just show up and like there's nobody there to oversee them at all. Bullshit. That's just straight bullshit. During our visit, we went back and forth, kind of arguing, being argumentative. One of my driver friends, she kind of took over. She's cool like that. She took over the whole conversation and just pushed the guy, and he had nothing, zero. Couldn't get anything from him because that's what they're trained to do, is not give any answers. They're only trained to help, to get people on the road so they can give cheap rides as possible. They're not trained to actually support us. That's bullshit. We were promised some answers actually by this guy. We had some questions. He's like, okay, I'll give you answers on these 2 questions. And guess what? He never responded. I was surprised there. So here we go. So this is my response to Uber. I wrote him. I said, hello, on Monday 9/21, myself and a group of other drivers tried to get clarity on compliance for our suspensions on 9/17. We were promised by the representative Brad that he'd get back to us on 2 items. Where are their record of me, Brian Navarro, being warned of my cancellation rate being too high? I, along with others in the group, never received a warning as claimed. So that's what I want. Is there a record? Where's the record? They're saying they warned me. No. You should have record of that. Number 2, what is the actual cancellation rate to maintain in order to remain in compliance? This guy, Brad, he said, oh yeah, there is a number, and he just threw a number out of his butt. I think he was kind of lying. I don't think he really even knew, but he said it when we were talking to him. He said, oh yeah, I've seen the number. Okay, then give it to us. So I have not heard from Brad on these 2 items as of today, 9/24. He promised us a response in 24 or 48 hours. So this was like 2 days later. Because I was in like maybe 72 hours. So then guess what they responded? Blah, I don't even want to hear. Thanks for reaching out. I'm so sorry for the inconvenience. Happy to explain to you on this one. I guess my English isn't as bad as I thought. Because I have bad English too. We want the Uber system to be as reliable as possible so riders are always able to get a ride when they need one. Fine. Then include a decline option. Simple. To help maintain that, to help make that happen, we use acceptance rates to encourage drivers to accept all trips, which is what I do. I accept all trips, like 90% of my rides. Here are a few tips, blah, 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 about accepting, make sure your volume's up, and just whatever. It's just the boilerplate bullshit. So they didn't answer us. Surprise there. So it's shitty. I was more pissed. I was really pissed that there was not someone, that they just lied to us about there not being a supervisor there to assist us. That's cowardly. I've been a store manager and I've always gone out of my way. Yeah, sometimes you put your CSRs to see what they can do. You put the low level people just to see what they can do. Let them handle it. Let them get all the information. And if the person that's complaining asks for a manager, you better get a manager. You don't lie to them and say there's not a manager there when I'm standing right behind you or right next to you. No, that's bullshit. That's kind of it. Let's see what other notes I have. Read CPU, redacted, control. So here, that's kind of been my experience this whole like week with Uber. It's been fucking just crappy. I know I'm cussing all over this video. It's because I'm pretty upset, and it's not only that I'm upset at what they did, but I'm kind of upset how they are making drivers feel and how kind of I'm feeling. And yeah, I shouldn't care too much, but I kind of do, because I think Uber is actually pretty neat technology, but the management is fucking shit. They suck ass. They're intimidating drivers. That's exactly what they do. Not only did they affect my pay for that one day, but they scared other drivers into giving cheap rides, which is going to affect our pay for a long ass time. Because now more drivers are going to be willing to give cheap rides. And that's what Surge is about. There's other reasons probably that it surges to entice you to get there, but then also it's there to help negotiate a price. So I'm gonna read these extra little things, and then I think we'll be done. Or maybe we got another little things. So during this whole thing, I actually went back to the partner agreement, and I read in my other videos. I've read the portion about it's your right to cancel. You have the option to cancel. And yeah, I know you guys would be like, well, Uber has the right to deactivate you anytime. Yeah, that's any job. Don't give me that argument. That's a bullshit argument. That's not gonna fly with me. That's every job is like that. Every job is at will. However, this job we actually have contract and somewhat guidelines. But as judges are finding out, this contract is kind of bullshit. It has so many holes into it, and here's another hole. So right above that, in 2.4, about 2 sentences in, it says, company does not and shall not be deemed to direct or control you generally or in your performance under this agreement specifically, including in connection with your provision of transportation services, your acts or omissions, or your operation and maintenance of your vehicle. So what they did is they are trying to control you, which sentence right there says that they are not. They don't have the power to, but they are doing it. Yeah, it's bullshit. And then, let's see. So here we go. I think, no, I just read this one. Yeah, so, I mean, I read the one, where it says, I mean, this the thing. When I found this, they released this document and it's all redacted. It's all blacked out. They're supposed to release one that isn't blacked out. I'm waiting for that one. But yeah, they even told the state of California that we have the option to accept or decline each request. But no, if they are going to suspend us, then we don't have an option. They're reprimanding you for you exercising that option. That's not the way to operate a business. And if you guys want to, I've already done this. Here in California, if you're a California driver, if you're an LA driver, you're a Frisco driver, and you feel like if you were suspended, or if you even get warnings, and you feel mistreated anyway, we do have recourse. We have the CPUC. I'll put a link in this video. If you want, you can complain to the CPUC directly, and we need to start doing this. The CPUC is going to be there to protect drivers. We are a user of the software just as much as a rider is a user of the software. We should have the same amount of protections from the state that the rider has, the exact same. So if you want, I've already done this. You can do it anonymously. I'll put a link down into this video. You can complain to the CPUC about this, about them suspending you, because they shouldn't be doing it, especially since they told the state of California that you can decline a ride. It's your option. It's not your option if they're suspending you. That means no, that they're just being your employer. Nuh-uh. They are not in this position to do that. And for you guys that do not believe me, that Uber is the best company ever, and they're just ride share software. No, they're not. So in this document, this redacted document from the state, I'll put links to, I think I'm just going to put a link to all these documents in a folder, in a Google Drive folder, and then you guys can read them. Just go for it. Have at it for the smart ones. So number 3, their questions. Here they go with these questions again. Number 3, explain the rules that Uber, Razor LLC, Razor California LLC, and UberX play in facilitating the provision of pre-arranged transportation services using the Uber app. So their response, this is what Uber is. The state asked them if this is overseen by a judge. You shouldn't be lying to judges, Uber. This is going to get you in trouble. UTI, Uber Technologies Incorporated, is a technology company with a proprietary technology platform that provides lead generation and related services to independent providers of transportation services. That's all they are. They are lead generators. That's all they want to be, is lead generators. They don't want to oversee the price. You know what a lead generator is? Is if my neighbor comes to me and says, hey man, you know of a contractor that'll help me put some grass in? Yeah, sure. I give my cousin. Sure, you guys. Then I go to my cousin and I say, hey dude, here's this dude. Here's my neighbor's phone number information. Why don't you go talk to him? See if you can help him out. That's a lead generation. I don't have any effect on the price. Uber shouldn't have any effect on the price. That's what the surge pricing algorithm is for. It's there to help us earn money. You guys, once you drivers start to understand this, it'll be better for everybody. You don't need to give cheap rides. You don't have to give cheap rides if you don't want to. If Uber wants their service to be more reliable, this is where they're getting in trouble. People are complaining that service is not reliable. Well, they're kind of fucking up. They're kind of changing their business model. They're trying to change the whole thing. Once drivers start to say no to cheap rides, and the price goes up when we give those good rides. And it's not like we're trying to ask for like a whole bunch of money. We're only asking for a little bit to put us on par with the cab. Here in LA, I would like for it to be 2 times at all times, which is significantly less than a cab. It's not that hard or difficult. But yeah, that's all Uber is. Uber is a lead generating software. That's all they are. And the one thing that I'm kind of salivating for right now in this redacted document is, so this document we're supposed to get a version that isn't redacted. So question number 16 they have, do TCP holders have the ability to set their own rates? I'm waiting for that question. I need the answer to that one. And then number 17 is, if the answer to question 16 is yes, above, demonstrate how TCP holders are able to specify the rate at which they will provide transportation services. And they have, the redacted is like 4 lines, so there is an answer there. And the other one, there's like 8 lines, so there is an answer there. But they blacked out the whole thing because they don't want you to know. So this Uber thing is just cracking before their eyes. Drivers are going to soon, hopefully, be smart enough to figure this out. But Uber doesn't tell them this stuff because they don't want you to know. They want to take advantage of you, and that's kind of the way it is. It's not. That's their motto. That's their MO. They just want to take advantage of you, plain and simple. I'll post a oh, here, let me read this really quick. Oh, I don't know if I can get it. Hold on, hold on one second. Yeah, and if you guys don't believe me, that's what their motto is, that they just want to put the cheapest product on the road. I'll post. This internet's not gonna work. It's gonna take forever. That's exactly what I'll post. I'll post the image in the document or in the in this folder. That's exactly what one of their managers said. Not the manager like him, but one of their executives said. They keep the price low by having new people on the road that really don't know any better. I mean, he freaking said it. That's the way they keep the price low, is by putting new drivers on the road that don't know any better. These people are just they're just horrible. Yeah, they don't want to tell you this because they don't want the rider to pay more. They want to provide the cheapest product possible to the rider, and riders are cheap, which is fine. But if you can't afford to take an Uber, just kind of don't. Go with some other options. I mean, you'll probably get an Uber ride, somebody who disgruntled, that doesn't know any better. Yeah, not good. So I think that's it. I think that's it. I don't know. I know this is a long video. Fuck, that's like 40 minutes. It's crazy. So be it. Fuck it. One of the most concerning thing is the backlash that I got, really, on some of the social, whatever, media sites and some other people's groups. And you know what it hit me about this whole thing? What we do, drivers doing acro, doing something that Uber doesn't want us to do. Uber is the exact same way. Uber has made it a policy to go around to different countries, different states, and just do whatever the fuck they want without any repercussions. In a way, I'm not going to say that's what I'm doing, but I'm using the software the way they don't want me to. So I'm being rebellious in a way, the same way they are rebellious. However, their MO is kind of changing. So it's kind of weird that, you guys support a company that doesn't want to do any background checks, doesn't want to pay kind of a fair rate. They don't want to cooperate with governments, and they don't want to do any of this stuff. And you guys support that. But then when a driver comes along and says, "Hey, man, let's all earn more money together and stop giving cheap rides and kind of go against the Uber way and use your software the way it's supposed to be used," then you guys kind of you come against me, which is, I don't know, it's kind of shady. I don't know, it's kind of shitty. I don't know. I thought we'd all support each other, but you guys kind of don't. I don't know why. Some people do support me, but the vast majority, I don't think, understand how the software works. So that's really it. The longest video. It's a long ass topic. It's a very important topic. I don't know where it's gonna take me. But as far as just me giving rides, I don't know. I'm just like, this whole thing has been frustrating. I still skip. I still do it. I still do it. Because really there's no other way to make more money. If somebody has a better way to only give surge rides, sorry, I'm looking for this. My internet connection is not working right now. I'm looking for this tweet that this executive said, but I'll put that in the link in the bottom. But yeah, I still skip. I still do the whole thing. They really affected the surge period. They fucked it up. And, drivers are going to be more angry and more pissed. They're going to have less people like me giving rides. And eventually, I mean, it's not that difficult to see once you start giving rides how much money you don't make. Yeah, all those miles you put on your car, yeah, they're gonna come. The car's gonna ask you for money sooner or later. It's not very. It's very easy to see. It's not that difficult. But yeah, Uber just wants to put you. They lease you cars and they put you on the road, and you can barely break even, barely make any money. And you know what? We have the opportunity to make quite a bit of money if we stop giving cheap rides. Start using your car better. Alright, so this is way too fucking long. Thanks everybody. And I'll be doing another video soon. There's another dude on the internet, on YouTube, called Uberman, who really didn't like my other videos. And he got all my shit wrong. And that guy's kind of, he's just a shill for Uber too. So we'll kind of deconstruct him and go from there. But thanks everybody. If you watched it, made it through this whole thing, maybe watch it in parts. Thank you very much. Yeah. Everybody be safe, drive safe. Hopefully you can move past this and start earning money. And then please, yeah, please take, if you guys just believe in me, or I don't know. I mean, if you guys gonna, there's like a whole like strike thing that's coming on. If you guys want to strike, you know what? You don't have to. I mean, go ahead, do that. But do what I said. Complain to the CPUC. If you need guidance, you can send me a tweet. I've already done it. Complain to the CPUC. The more of us that do this, the better it'll be for all of us. We need protection from Uber. We should be protected from Uber just as much as the riders should be. So take care, everybody. It's a long video. Yeah, complain down in the comments. Or if you're not, just give me a thumbs up. Everybody writes back. I always write back. I usually try to, even though it's a little late. But alright, so talk to you guys later. Bye.